With just a month to go until Election Day, News 19's Dustin Luecke spoke with local political analyst Tim Dale about what the president's diagnosis means for the campaign up and down the ballot.
Tim, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll start with this. What does the president having to cancel his visit, regardless of the reason, tomorrow, mean for the down ballot candidates in some of these contested local races?
Well, one of the things we talk about a lot in elections, presidential election years, is something called coattails, where candidates at the top of the ticket have an influence on lower level races. It is certainly true that local and state representatives who are running for office need Trump to do well in the election. They also need public events so that they can be seen publicly with him. Press coverage of those kinds of visits is always good for the party of the candidate who's visiting. So it does give a certain kind of hit to these candidates who really would like the president to visit as much as possible.
Is there really any precedent in presidential history for a candidate being unable to get on the campaign trail as they typically would in this final month?
Certainly not in modern history. Historically, there have been presidents who have been sick. Probably the most famous example is FDR, making it very difficult for him to campaign with polio. But I think that in modern history, we don't have this kind of thing happening. Of course, we were already in a really unusual campaign year in 2020 with COVID. And so I think this is kind of par for the course, if we could call it that. And certainly it will be something that is going to be a context for how voters are going to go into the election the last month of the campaign season, not seeing these candidates out on the stump.
Tim Dale, we thank you as always for your insights.
Thanks for having me.
Dale says the challenge for the Trump campaign will be to now try to utilize virtual campaign